What's up guys, and today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of companies which have nothing to do with smartphones but then decided to make a smartphone. And the results are fascinating. First up we've got DIOR. This is a French luxury goods company known for fashion, for makeup, for perfumes, and they made a smartphone. Now I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but it's called the DIOR RAZER, and at just over $116,000, it's not for everybody. They are handcrafted in France using no less than 1,500 diamonds apiece. They also have white gold, crystal, pearl. They're about a little bit more than practicality. But weirdly enough, and in complete contrast to the crazy materials the phone is made of, the company was actually trying to pitch this as an everybody's device. They were boasting a 5-megapixel rear camera, apparently that's impressive, and also a 12-day standby time, which actually isn't bad. So then we've got the KODAK Ektra, and KODAK is a company primarily known for their imaging products. So of course, when a company like this releases a smartphone, it is all about photography. And fair enough, because this was a pretty decent camera. It had a 21-megapixel sensor and a huge modification to the software suite. The entire phone was built around making the camera app feel like you're using a DSLR. It had lots of Kodak-themed settings, a very extensive Pro mode, and the ability to shoot in RAW. But unfortunately, so much emphasis was placed on this camera, it almost seems like every other aspect of the phone was neglected. Because the body is absolutely huge, it is very bulky to hold, and still only has a 5-inch display. Not only that, but it's got a Helio X20 processor, something that is seen on phones at less than half the price. And it's sad because whilst the camera was pretty good, it really wasn't anything that great. And so when all these sacrifices have been made to make a phone centered around the camera, and yet every phone released in the year after has a better camera than it anyway, it's obviously not going to be a commercial success. So then we've got PEPSI, and this really is a phone that took people by surprise. People's primary connection with this brand was through soft drinks, and all of a sudden they were seeing the same label on their phone. To be honest, it looks like a very run-of-the-mill budget smartphone. It has 2 gigs of RAM, a low-end MediaTek processor, and a 1080p LCD display. And until you really dig into the software and see the PEPSI wallpapers, the PEPSI themed icons, externally it's actually not really easy to tell. And that's the problem with this phone, the thing that really sort of killed the excitement. The phone isn't actually manufactured by PEPSI. PEPSI was simply licensed out to Kubi, which actually is a smartphone manufacturer. So the company basically stuck the label on one of their other smartphones, rejigged the software a little bit, and sold it as a PEPSI phone. But then we have a company specializing in gaming peripherals. We've got the RAZER phone. And to be honest, out of all the phones we've talked about so far, the RAZER phone is a phone which makes a lot more sense. It has actually shown that there is a good synergy between gaming products and smartphones, and they produced a smartphone which really well utilizes their experience in their other areas. So the RAZER phone does have the company's iconic aggressive design language. It's got world's first 120Hz super fluid display on a smartphone, and it's also got possibly the best stereo speakers we've ever seen on a mobile. So in a sense, this appeals very strongly to a very specific kind of person. The kind of person who would buy RAZER peripherals, the kind of person who would play maybe PC games, they would want a really hardcore device like this. To the rest of the market, it probably makes a little bit less sense. The next phone is one I was actually very close to buying. This is the Marshall London. And given the company's expertise in guitar amplifiers in headphones, it made sense that the phone had a very music-centric focus. And in that sense, it really succeeded. It's got seriously unique styling, clearly inspired by the company's iconic amplifiers. It's got a dedicated button which pulls up a custom music player even when your screen is off. Not only that, but it's got a crazy hi-fi DAC inside to make really high quality audio, stereo speakers, and in an age where smartphones are losing their headphone jacks, this one has 2. The problem came in other areas. This smartphone just tried to specialize a little bit too much. It was stuck with a 720p display and a Snapdragon 410, which are considered nothing more than lower mid-range. Now, possibly the most surprising one on the entire list is KFC. To celebrate the company's 30th anniversary of being in China, they released an exclusive red smartphone. And it is seriously bold. In most aspects, it's a pretty standard mid-range phone. But the entire phone is red, an embodiment of the company's colours. It's got obviously KFC branding on the outside and throughout the inside of the software, but more importantly, it's got a KFC exclusive music application, which means that anytime you take this phone to a KFC store in China, you can actually choose the playlist. you can add your own songs, and a bit like a portable jukebox, it'll start playing in the chain you're in. To make it a little more desirable, and also perhaps to control how many times a day the song is changed in the KFC stores, there are only 5,000 units made. So it's kind of an exclusive deal. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Do let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more stuff like this, and don't forget to subscribe if you did enjoy it. My name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.